Hi guys, it is Wednesday, February 28th. I'm doing my daily check-in. I have a cold. I thought I had a cold a couple days ago, and so I took like a bunch of vitamins that day, and the next day seemed to be less, so I was like, sweet. No, it's a full-blown thing now. It's not fun. I'm not a fan. Haven't really eaten anything today. Well, that's not true. I had 2 Cadbury mini eggs, those little hard-coated chocolate things. And then I had an airborne drink this morning, trying to bump up my immune system. I did not sleep well last night, but it's because my feet were so cold. It was weird, like my trunk area down to my belly, abdomen, that was all warm, but my legs were a little bit cold, and then my feet were freezing. And my husband very graciously let me put my feet on him last night. So while I was sitting up watching a show in bed, but then when it was time for me to go to bed, it was like 10:30. I slid down into, under the covers further, and that part where your feet normally would be, it was so cold there because I had been sitting up in bed. I was just so cold. So finally, after tossing and turning for probably a good 2 hours, I got a fleece blanket, stuffed it under the sheets, put my feet in it, wrapped my feet up, and man, even that didn't help. It was still I think I dozed for like another couple hours. It was so irritating. I think I woke up to use the bathroom. I don't know if it was like 2:30 or 4. And finally, I took the blanket out. But even then, like when I got back in, it still felt cold in that area. It was so weird. And then when I woke up this morning, overheated, like typical. I usually wake up quite warm in the morning. And so this morning was fine. But then throughout the day, I am cold again. I just took a shower and it felt so good. Like I had that water on hot. But of course, your back is facing it. So your back is nice and toasty, and then your front's cold. So then you flip around, and then your front gets all red and scalded, but then your back is cold. It would be lovely to have a situation with the 2 shower heads. We have a rainfall shower head as well as a regular one, but then that's just beating down directly on top of you, and I didn't want to do my hair today. But even that, it's not the same. I've been in them before where they have the 2 shower heads that kind of come in like this, so you're standing and it's hitting both sides of you. I don't know what the water bills are for people who have that kind of a setup, but I can only imagine that they are extremely happy people overall when taking showers, because just warmth on 2 sides would be great. You know what I should get? My husband gave me for a birthday or Christmas a couple years ago, like a pedi spa, like a foot bath type thing. And it had like a massager aspect in it. And it was super sweet, but it was a little messy, and the water didn't stay warm for that long. And so I just never ended up using it. Lately, I've seen these things where it's just a foot warmer. It's electric. So you plug it in, and it's, got this area, and you put your feet in it, and then your feet just get warm. Because that's usually on me where I get cold, is my feet. And once my feet are warmed up, I'm fine. Like, it's not like, my extremities, my arms and my shoulders, that they're so cold. If they're cold, I don't really care about that. I care about my feet. So maybe I'll look into getting something like that. I've also seen electric socks, like full on. A lot of hunters, I think, is when they originally came out for. That's for hunters. But I know when people lose a lot of weight, they get cold because they've been used to having a lot of insulation. I am not at that stage yet, and I've always had fairly cold feet. So my husband was like, "Oh, you just need to exercise before bed and get your blood circulating, and then when you go to bed, you'll stay warm." Maybe there's something to that. Maybe I'll try it. Anyway, so I kind of feel like I should eat something, but also nothing sounds good at all. Like, nothing sounds good. We have like a little bit of leftover ribs. I made chicken soup yesterday. That actually doesn't sound too bad. You know what sounds good? We're going to go to Costco in a little bit. A slice of cheese pizza. That sounds really quite tasty. Maybe I will have to do that. Not good for me. Not high protein. Low carb, It is what it is, probably, right? Anxiety is good. Um, I feel like I have to sneeze. Um, Other than that, not a lot of indigestion or gas or anything yesterday overnight, so that was a benefit. Had a little bit over the course of the night, but not like to the point where that was what was keeping me awake overnight. Watched a Clue documentary called Who Done It, the Clue documentary. It's on Amazon Prime. And it was really interesting because I learned some stuff. I love Clue. It's such a classic, from the 80s. I grew up with that, and I think it's such a fun film. But I learned that there was actually a fourth ending. I don't know if you guys have seen it. There's 3 alternate endings. Apparently there was going to be a fourth, and at the very end of the film there's a book about Clue, and so he reads. It sounds like he was reading from what maybe was part of the script from back in the day. And if it was, I could see why they cut it. It wasn't nearly as entertaining as the other 3 endings, but I thought that was super interesting. The thing about it that I didn't like was the video production quality. When the director was interviewing, old cast members and the script writer and, just different people who were involved, they didn't have a mic on them, so it was like super echoey sounding. And then for a lot of footage, when they would show footage from like Comic-Con or Wizard World or old interviews and stuff, it's almost like he took like Photoshop and made like an impressionist painting. It had like this really weird overlay, so like features were blurry, and I can only imagine he did it for artistic value, but I hated it. I thought that was just awful. It bugged the crap out of me. And I'm thinking, this guy is supposed to be a filmmaker. Why? What? So, certain aspects of it I liked. I liked learning about different parts of the movie and hearing from the actors and what their experiences were with it. But a lot of the footage I just thought was super wonky, and the sound was weird, so did not love it for that aspect. But if you're a fan of Clue and you have Amazon Prime, I would suggest to watch Who Done It, the Clue documentary, because it was kind of fun. And that is my media suggestion for the day. I will see you guys at the next video.